Netherlands. A small territory on the map, but with a spirit that has shaped seas, tamed rivers, and defied storms for centuries. When we hear Holland, the image that often comes to mind is simple: tulips, windmills, and bicycles gliding along cobblestone streets. But what if I told you that what you know is only the cover of a much deeper book? Here, under a sky painted with strokes of blue and clouds that dance with the light, every canal tells a story. Every stone in the ancient cities has witnessed intrigue, trade, and art that changed the course of world history. This is a country that, despite being smaller in area than many states, was once a naval power that mapped routes to the most remote corners of the planet. The Netherlands is a land of contrasts. Cutting-edge technology and centuries-old traditions coexist in harmony. Vibrant cities blend seamlessly with landscapes that look like postcards, and a people who, generation after generation, have learned to live by and for the water, never against it. On this journey, we won't just explore canals and flower fields. We'll uncover hidden legends, architectural secrets, historical curiosities, and corners that don't appear in tourist guides. Did you know that in Amsterdam, some houses are purposely tilted to make it easier to transport goods? Or that there's an entire village with no roads, only canals? So get ready to look beyond the postcards. Because behind every bridge, every flower, and every gust of wind, the Netherlands holds stories that will surprise you, move you, and perhaps even change the way you see this fascinating country. Amsterdam is not just the capital of the Netherlands. It's a living mosaic of history, art, and everyday life woven into more than 100 kilometers of canals. From above, the city resembles a perfect spiderweb of water and bridges, an ingenious design recognized by UNESCO as a World Heritage Site. Founded in the 12th century as a modest fishing village on the banks of the Amstel River, Amsterdam grew to become the commercial heart of the Dutch Golden Age in the 17th century. Back then, its ships sailed every known sea, carrying spices, silk, and knowledge to Europe. This past still lingers in the elegant, narrow-fronted houses, many of which lean forward. It's no architectural mistake. Goods were once hoisted with pulleys directly into storage rooms on the upper floors. Yet Amsterdam is also a city that looks to the future without forgetting its past. The bicycle, undisputed queen of its streets, is both a symbol of sustainability and a way of life. Canalside cafes, independent bookstores, and flea markets in Waterlooplein tell the story of an open, creative, and diverse community. Still, behind its photogenic charm, Amsterdam hides astonishing tales. Secret tunnels used during World War II, houses that hosted clandestine meetings, or hidden churches tucked away in attics, built when the Catholic faith was forbidden. This interweaving of beauty, history, and mystery is what makes every visit to Amsterdam unique, as if the city always has something new to whisper in your ear. Rotterdam is not a city that clings to the past. Almost completely bombed in 1940 during World War II, instead of rebuilding what was lost, it chose to reinvent itself. And it did so boldly. Today, its skyline is an architectural manifesto. Futuristic lines, bridges that look like sculptures, and buildings that defy gravity. The Port of Rotterdam, the largest in Europe and one of the busiest in the world, is the heart that pumps goods to every corner of the continent. Here, containers, cranes, and giant ships coexist with leisure areas, museums, and green spaces. It's a place where engineering and urban life blend seamlessly. Among its symbols, the Erasmus Bridge, known as the Swan for its graceful silhouette, connects the north and south of the city. The cube houses, Kubuswoningen, designed by Piet Blom, seem like pieces of an impossible game suspended in midair, a perfect example of the creativity that defines Rotterdam. Rotterdam is also a cultural laboratory, film festivals, street art on every corner, and a cuisine that reflects its ethnic diversity. Here, every street seems to say, "We may fall, but we will always rise stronger." Visiting Rotterdam is witnessing how a city can rise from the ashes and turn adversity into a living work of art. In spring, the Netherlands transforms into a living canvas. Endless rows of tulips paint the land in vivid reds, golden yellows, deep purples, and whites that seem like frozen light. But behind this iconic image lies a surprising story. Tulips are not native here. They arrived in the 16th century from the Ottoman Empire, brought by traders and botanists captivated by their exotic beauty. By the mid-17th century, the country experienced the famous tulip mania, considered the first economic bubble in history. Bulbs were sold at absurd prices, sometimes equivalent to the cost of a house in Amsterdam. When the bubble burst, it left behind lessons about greed, fashion, and economics that are still studied today. Today, the regions of Lies, Noordoostpolder, and the area around Haarlem become a natural spectacle every year. From late March to mid-May, flower fields attract millions of visitors who travel roads and bike paths to lose themselves among the colors. The flower industry remains vital. The Netherlands exports billions of bulbs annually, maintaining its title as the world's flower capital. But beyond tourism and economics, the tulip fields are part of the Dutch soul. They symbolize patience. Each bloom is the result of months of care, and the country's unique relationship with its land, wrested from the sea and the climate. At dawn, when the soft light touches the petals and the air smells of spring, you realize this spectacle is fleeting. Within weeks, the flowers will be cut to ensure the next harvest. It is this transience that makes the tulip fields not just a place to see, but an experience to feel and remember. The Hague is not the official capital of the Netherlands, yet in many ways it acts as one. It is here that decisions are made which affect not only the country but the entire world. Known as the City of Peace and Justice, it is home to the Peace Palace, headquarters of the International Court of Justice and the Permanent Court of Arbitration. Within its halls, international conflicts have been debated, historic treaties signed, and trials held that set precedents for humanity. But The Hague is not only politics and diplomacy. Its history dates back to the 13th century, when the Counts of Holland built the Binnenhof, a complex that still serves as the political heart of the Netherlands. Walking through its cobblestone courtyards is like traveling back in time. Every arch and tower has witnessed revolutions, reforms, and royal ceremonies. The city also looks toward the sea. Just minutes from the center, Scheveningen Beach offers a vibrant contrast. A seaside promenade with cafes, galleries, and the famous pier with its Ferris wheel, all accompanied by the wind of the North Sea. In the past, this neighborhood was a humble fishing village. Today, it blends tourism, art, and maritime tradition. Among palaces, embassies, and quiet streets lined with lime trees, The Hague exudes a sense of balance. Here, power and serenity, justice and everyday life coexist. And perhaps that is what makes it special. It is a city that, while dealing with the great affairs of the world, never forgets the calming sound of the waves. In the Netherlands, there are places where time seems to stand still. Zandschans is one of them. Here, history isn't locked away in display cases. It lives on in every corner. Windmills turn slowly, just as they have for centuries, reminding us that in this land, human ingenuity and the forces of nature have always worked hand in hand. During the 17th century, this region was one of the world's first industrial hubs. The windmills didn't just grind grain, they also produced oil, paint, spices, and even paper. It was a quiet revolution that fueled trade and economic growth across the Netherlands. Today, walking through Zandschans is like opening a picture book. Wooden houses painted in shades of green and white, workshops where traditional wooden clogs are still made, and small shops selling cheese, chocolate, and spices crafted with techniques passed down from generation to generation. It's not just a recreation. Many of these buildings are originals, relocated here to protect them from the passage of time. What's fascinating is that every mill and every workshop tells a story. Some have withstood storms and wars. Others have been restored thanks to the passion of communities determined to preserve their heritage. And as the wind blows over the canals and the scent of cocoa drifts through the air, you realize this place is more than a tourist attraction. It's a living testament to how a small country can leave a great mark on world history. Zandschans is not just for looking, it's for experiencing. Here, the past isn't a distant memory but something you can touch, smell, and hear. In the heart of the Netherlands, Delft shines like a jewel that blends tradition, art, and science. This city, small in size but rich in history, has been the birthplace of inventors, painters, and thinkers who left their mark on the world. Its tranquil canals and cobblestone streets invite you to wander slowly, letting each corner reveal a fragment of its past. Delft is world famous for its blue and white ceramics, an art form that began in the 17th century, inspired by Chinese porcelain imported by the Dutch East India Company. Each piece, hand-painted, tells a story in delicate tones, from pastoral scenes to maritime motifs. Today, visiting the workshops and watching artisans at work is a glimpse into a tradition kept alive through patience and precision. The city is also tied to one of history's most enigmatic painters, Johannes Vermeer. Though few of his works survive, his ability to capture light turned everyday scenes into timeless masterpieces. Walking through Delft is, in a way, like stepping into one of his paintings. Facades bathed in soft sunlight, shimmering reflections on the water, and a rhythm of life untouched by modern haste. Beyond art, Delft is also a center of knowledge. Its technical university is one of the most prestigious in Europe, and its innovations in engineering and design continue to shape the city's future. Delft is not a place to rush through. It is a space where time seems to expand, where history, creativity, and daily life blend naturally. Here, every bridge, every shadow, and every bell tower seems to whisper that the most valuable things are not always the largest, but the ones that leave a deep imprint on those who discover them. Every spring, a place in the Netherlands transforms into a festival of color and fragrance, the Keukenhof Gardens. Known as the Garden of Europe, this park is a living celebration of the country's most iconic flower, the tulip. But it's not only tulips here. Hyacinths, daffodils, and lilies join in to create compositions that look as if nature itself painted them. Keukenhof's history dates back to the 15th century, when it was part of the hunting grounds and kitchen gardens of Countess Jacoba of Bavaria. The name Keukenhof literally means kitchen garden, because it originally supplied herbs and vegetables to the castle's kitchen. It wasn't until 1949 that a group of flower growers decided to transform the place into a showcase to present Dutch horticultural excellence to the world. Today, the park spans more than 30 hectares and displays over 7 million flowers each year, but it opens its gates for only a few weeks, from late March to mid-May. This fleeting spectacle attracts visitors from every continent, eager to stroll along flower-lined paths, reflective ponds, and themed pavilions that tell stories of culture and floral design. Beyond its beauty, Keukenhof is a reminder of the Netherlands' special relationship with the land and the seasons. Every blooming flower is the result of months of planning, care, and patience. And perhaps that is the magic, knowing that this moment will never be exactly the same next year, that every spring brings a unique, unrepeatable masterpiece. In Keukenhof, you don't just look at flowers. You hear the whisper of the wind between the petals, breathe in their perfume, and realize that the deepest beauty is the kind that lasts only a short while, but leaves an eternal memory. In the Dutch landscape, there is a place where water and wind tell a centuries-old story, Kinderdijk. Here, 19 windmills stand in a line like silent guardians, protecting the land from floods since the 18th century. They are not mere monuments. They are part of an ingenious hydraulic system that allowed a country below sea level to survive and thrive. Legend has it that the name Kinderdijk, which means child's dike, comes from a flood that struck in 1421. After the storm, survivors found a cradle floating in the water. Inside, a baby slept peacefully alongside a cat that, with its movements, kept the cradle balanced. This story became a symbol of hope and resilience for generations. Walking or cycling along the paths of Kinderdijk feels like stepping into an open-air museum. The steady sound of turning blades, the reflection of windmills in the canals, and the sense that time moves differently here create a unique atmosphere. While many of the windmills no longer serve their original purpose, some are still operational, reminding us that this centuries-old technology can still hold back the water. Kinderdijk is not just a tourist destination, it is a living testament to the relationship between the Dutch and their environment. The fight against water shaped not only the landscape but also the country's identity. Seeing the windmills at sunset, when golden light bathes the fields and the wind blows gently, is to understand that this place is more than a postcard. It is a lesson in ingenuity, perseverance, and respect for nature. Here, every gust of wind moves not only the blades but also the pages of a story that is still being written. Just a few minutes by train from Amsterdam, Haarlem offers a quieter, more refined version of Dutch life. Known as the flower capital long before Keukenhof even existed, this city has been a hub for tulip trade and cultivation for centuries. Its cobblestone streets, cozy squares, and serene canals invite you to explore at an unhurried pace, letting history reveal itself step by step. At the heart of Haarlem lies the Groot Market, a square surrounded by historic buildings, each facade telling a different chapter. Here stands the imposing St. Bavo's Church, its tower dominating the skyline and its monumental organ once played by the likes of Mozart and Handel. The city is also home to the Frans Hals Museum, dedicated to one of the great painters of the Dutch Golden Age. His portraits, full of life and character, reflect a time when Haarlem was a vibrant artistic and cultural center. Beyond its art and architecture, Haarlem retains a strong sense of community. Its street markets, like the one held in the Groot Market, offer cheeses, flowers, and local products that connect visitors to daily life. And just beyond the city center, the dunes and beaches of the North Sea are a short bike ride away, reminding you that here, city and nature coexist in harmony. Haarlem doesn't seek to impress with grandeur. Its charm lies in the details, a soft light reflected in the water, the scent of freshly baked bread wafting from a bakery, or the toll of the church bell marking the hour. It's a place that doesn't aim to dazzle, but to stay in the memory of those who discover it. Utrecht is a city where history and modernity walk hand in hand. Located in the heart of the Netherlands, it was for centuries an important religious and commercial center. Today, it preserves the charm of its medieval past while pulsing with the energy of a university city. Its most recognizable symbol is the Dom Tower, the tallest in the Netherlands, rising above rooftops and canals. From its summit, on clear days you can see much of the country, a reminder that Utrecht has always been a meeting point. What sets Utrecht apart from other Dutch cities is its unique canal system with wharfs at water level. These terraces, known as wharf cellars, were created in the Middle Ages to store goods directly from ships. Today they're filled with cafes, restaurants, and shops that give the waterfront a warm and lively atmosphere. Strolling through the old town is like walking through centuries of architecture. Gothic churches, hidden courtyards, and facades bearing traces of different eras. Yet at the same time, Utrecht is young and dynamic. Street markets, impromptu concerts, and cyclists filling every corner give it a vibrant rhythm. Beyond the center, parks and gardens invite peaceful pauses, and the city's creative spirit is reflected in murals, festivals, and alternative cultural spaces. Utrecht doesn't try to dazzle with grand gestures, it wins you over with authenticity. It's a place where you can sit by the canal, listen to the chimes, In the northeast of the Netherlands, there is a village that seems taken straight from a fairy tale, Keukenhof. Here the streets are made of water and boats replace cars. There are no traffic lights, no engine noise, only the gentle splash of oars and the whisper of wind through the willows. Founded in the 13th century by farmers and peat diggers, the village grew on small islands connected by more than 170 wooden bridges. The houses, with carefully thatched roofs, overlook gardens bursting with flowers, and each season paints the landscape in a different palette. Tulips and daffodils in spring, vibrant greens in summer, golden leaves in autumn, and a white hush in winter. Life here moves at a different pace. Visitors glide along the canals and whisper boats, small silent electric vessels, or stroll along paths lined with water. In every corner, the harmony between nature and architecture feels untouched, as if time had simply forgotten this place. Though Giethoorn has become a popular tourist destination, it still preserves its authenticity. Small cafes by the canal, craft shops, and local museums tell stories of fishing, farming, and rural life. It's not just a place to take pictures, it's a place to feel the kind of calm rarely found in the modern world. At the end of the day, when the sun reflects off the water and shadows stretch across the bridges, you understand why Giethoorn is called the Venice of the North. Not for its size or luxury, but because here water is not an obstacle, it is the very soul of the place. It seems frozen in time, and landscapes that tell their own stories. We've discovered how history, culture, and nature intertwine in every corner of the Netherlands, forming a unique mosaic that invites you to return again and again. From the canals that reflect centuries of trade and daily life, to the flower fields that celebrate the arrival of spring, each image is a reminder that this small country holds an immense soul. Its windmills, bridges, and squares are not just postcards, but living chapters of a story still being written. And now, before we say goodbye to the Netherlands, let's take a moment to pause, breathe, and let our senses guide us. Before concluding our tour of this country, let's once more take in its most beautiful landscapes, accompanied by soft melodies and the stories that bring them to life. Because traveling is not just about arriving somewhere, it's about taking something of that place with you in your heart. And Holland, with its blend of tradition,